Welcome back to Bits of Krish. Let me take you on an exhilarating journey deep into the heart of the Himalayas, where Indiana Jones embarks on one of his greatest adventures. This tale is one of mystery, peril, and ancient artifacts, wrapped in a whirlwind of danger and excitement. After a bitter loss, losing a piece of the golden circle to the sinister Voss, Indiana was furious and disheartened. All his efforts, the risks he took, everything seemed in vain. But just where despair was about to consume him, Gina, his ever-reliable companion, revealed an astonishing piece of intelligence. While intercepting German radio frequencies, she caught a signal originating from the Himalayas. Voss had made yet another breakthrough. In a North African tomb, he had discovered another stone, and in March, he led an excavation in Machu Picchu, a known site connected to the Great Circle. Beneath the ancient ruins, he unearthed yet another forbidden idol. But the most shocking revelation, Gina's own sister, Laura Lombardi, had been part of that very expedition. How did an African artifact end up in the Himalayas, on the other side of the planet? That mystery was yet to be solved. The Himalayas, with their merciless weather, presented a challenge unlike any other. The wind howled like an enraged beast, snow blanketed the world around them, and visibility was nearly non-existent. Indiana and Gina trudged forward through the treacherous landscape, their limbs numb, their hearts pounding. The biting cold gnawed at them with every step, and the looming threat of avalanches made each moment a gamble with death. The wooden bridges along their path were barely holding together under the relentless storm, forcing them to cross with utmost caution. Yet Gina pressed on, unwavering in her resolve to find her sister, even as her feet trembled with exhaustion. After what felt like an eternity, they finally reached the summit, and what they saw left him utterly speechless. A ship, a massive ship, hanging from the mountain, anchored as if placed there by some divine force. It defied logic. It defied reality. How could a ship be stranded at such an altitude? Indiana's mind reeled, struggling to make sense of it, but there was no time to ponder. According to the Morse code Gina intercepted, the other artifacts were hidden within the ship's depths. Inside the ship was frozen tomb. Silence engulfed them as they explored its empty corridors. Not a single soul in sight, only darkness and ice, as though time itself had stopped. The deeper they ventured, the more unsettling the ship became, until they stumbled upon a heart-wrenching sight. Laura Lombardi, lying lifeless on the cold, barren platform, frozen in time. She had been on a mission to recover the artifact, and now she was gone. No one knew how she ended up stranded in this desolated place. But the truth was undeniable. There was no bringing her back. Gina's heart shattered. Overcome with grief, she collapsed, tears streaming down her face. Her sister was lost forever. Then from above, German voices echoed through the ship's chambers. Danger was imminent. Grantz, Voss's ruthless accomplice, was here with his men. They were after the African artifact, hidden somewhere within the ship's lower decks. But Laura had left behind a cryptic clue, for he could fold the earth by speaking the word. What could it mean? There was no time to decipher it now. The enemy was closing in. The ship erupted into chaos. Soldiers descended from ladders, shotguns in hand. Gunfire rang out. Indiana barely dodged a bullet that whizzed past him, grazing his side. Gritting his teeth through the pain, he retaliated, whipping one soldier on the ground, delivering punch after punch. The enemies were relentless. More bullets flew. Indiana had no choice. He drew his gun and fired. One shot, one kill. But that single gunshot alerted the entire crew. Now they were in real trouble. Moving stealthily through narrow passages, Indiana and Gina evaded detection, taking down guards one by one. Every step was a test of endurance. Their knees ached from crawling. Their breaths were short, but they couldn't stop. The artifact had to be found before Voss's men got to it. On the upper deck, however, there was no place left to hide. Indiana had to fight his way through. Finally, they reached the officer's lounge. This was it. The artifact had to be here. But there was a catch. A puzzle guarded the entrance. A test for Indiana's intellect. A cipher machine required 4 decryption wheels to function. Indiana worked swiftly, gathering the wheels and decoding the message Blut. He found the corresponding number 3666. Dialing it onto the number lock pad, the door cracked open. Success. And there it was. The Machu Picchu stone, gleaming in gold, clutched tightly in the frozen grasp of a dead German general. An incredible sight, but it wouldn't be easy to retrieve. Before they could react, Gantz and his men stormed in. A brutal skirmish erupted. Fists flew, bones cracked, and Indiana fought with every ounce of strength he had left. But then Gantz aimed his gun directly at him. Indiana had no choice but to surrender. Yet, amidst the chaos, Gina had already taken the stone, silently, stealthily, and then she devised a daring trick. When Indy was facing a death trial, Gina offered to surrender in exchange for the stone. stone. Gantz, a fool, extended his hands in compliance, but suddenly the nonchalant smirk on his face vanished. Instead of the stone, Gina handed him a grenade. Terrified, Gantz instinctively threw it into the air without considering the consequences. At the moment of the explosion, the ice shattered. The ship was no longer still. It started shaking and was on the verge of collapse. Chaos ensued. Everything began sliding towards the depths of the Himalayas, a place from which there was no return. Panic spread. Indy dodged bullets as soldiers lost their footing and were hurled into oblivion. Desperate for the stone, Gantz engaged Indy in a fist fight. Indy delivered a well-placed punch to Gantz's cheek, knocking him down, but the danger was still looming large. Panic consumed them. He flung it away, but the explosion rocked the entire ship. The ice cracked beneath them. The vessel, once still, now teetered on the edge of doom. A colossal tremor sent everything sliding towards the abyss. Soldiers lost their footing, slipping into the void. Indiana and Gina barely managed to hold on. The ship was tilting. Soon it would be no more. After an immense struggle, they managed to find some footing, but beneath them was a sheer drop, and the platform wasn't going to hold much longer. What now? There was nowhere else to go. Dangling by a thread, desperation took hold. Nowhere to go, no way to escape. Gina was losing hope, and Indiana was out of ideas. Then he remembered Laura's words, for he could fold the earth by speaking the word. With the stone in hand, Indiana uttered the ancient words with all his might. His voice echoed through the mountains. The earth trembled, and then, in an instant, a black hole appeared. Time froze, and they vanished into thin air. What happens next? That remains a mystery for another day. Stay tuned to find out. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Until next time, ciao ciao.